fact that the business volume for the 250 is 200.
Okay.
The BV. The business volume for this is 400, and then the business volume for this is 800. Okay, but I'm just going to utilize these numbers right here in the example. Okay. All right, so with the binary, the biggest thing about the binary, especially when we're selling the value proposition of it, is the binary is used for the speed of recruiting. I like it, but if it was only a binary, I wouldn't be interested in it. The unit level is designed for the strength of stability. Okay? And so therefore, obviously you guys are builders, so Houghton came out with something a long time ago called the 2020. Okay, and with this 2020, what he talks about is, he says you go out there in your first 90 days, you want to recruit 40 people in your first 90 days. You want to put 20 people on your left, and you want to put 20 people on your right. Okay? So the way that we tend to build is you're going to have 20 people you're going to personally sponsor on your left. You're going to personally sponsor 20 people on your right as well. Okay? Now, keeping this in mind, out of 20 people, pretty much 6 of those 20 are going to quit. Attrition always happens. Pretty much 6 of them are going to incubate. They're not going to go and work and do anything. But then, of course, you're going to have about 6 of them that are going to go to work, and you're bound to find 1 or 2 superstars on each side. That's the idea, okay? Just because a person has had success in the industry before and they have the potential to go out and build does not mean that they're going to do anything over here. That's the reason why you do left, right, and so forth, okay? So let's just imagine here, you went out and did the left, right, and you have spillover from Larice as well. Let's say you have $100,000 of volume over here, okay? And you went out and this week, you may have introduced a couple of people and they went and built the team as well. Let's say you recruited you got a total of 15 people that joined, a combination of 1,000 to 500 or whatever, and you now have about, let's say about $15,000 of volume over here, right? The way that the binary actually works, for your sake of making sure we relay it and teach to other people, you get 10% here on the weaker leg, or 12% or 20% respectively for what position they came in. So therefore, at the coach in this regard, even though it has a cap, keep in mind that it has a cap. I believe, you remember what the cap is on the coach just coming in? I mean, we have a legend that shows all of those details, but that's a major factor right there, okay? But in this regard, just from pure math, that means that this week when they look at the lesser leg and pay you 10%, that means the coach will pay you $1,500, right? Okay, that means that the business class would pay you about what, $1,800? Yes. And then the first class, off the same amount of production, you will make $3,000. The same amount of work. Okay, so this is a huge value proposition. When you're sharing an example like this, you can simply say you can come in at choose any package you want to get started at, but just know off the same amount of work, you can make $1,500 or you can make $3,000. Operate from a visionary standpoint, you make that money back. So here's the question I have for people: how many weeks are you willing to let go by? Oh, baby, how can I be? Okay.
Did somebody leave something?
Oh, call back Jilly. How did my wife do this? Like, I got my phone on mute, and I've never seen this before, ever.
It's an alarm.
How did she put an alarm on my phone at 9:30 and say,
I want to call him back.
I know, that's some magic, man.
It's not an alarm, though.
Oh, that girl is good.
That cricket service.
Man. Okay. All right, so I ask people, how many weeks are you willing to let $1,500 just go by before you decide to upgrade and get to that package, okay?
Right.
Huge value proposition. So it just cycles week after week after week. Now, a lot of times people get frustrated because they're sitting there staring at their binary and they're simply saying, man, the binary is not really moving, right? And if you're sitting there waiting on people to be placed, it's not going to move fast. So I want to show you the building structure that I follow and I teach to make the binary move, and it has nothing to do with looking at the binary. Okay? All right, so keep in mind, in your first 90 days, you want to go and recruit how many people?
40.
40. And you're going to put 20 on the left, 20 on the right, okay? All right, so just imagine this is you. And you went out and recruited all of these legs of business. This is the specific model that you will utilize to go and generate all your income through this unit level business model. So at home, what I have is I have this, and I can have all my front lines here, and I identify, all I do is I put like, this person on the left, left, this person on the right, this person on the left, this person on the right, this person on the right, right, left, right, left, right. So I already know that if I generate production by the laws of building, I'm automatically populating the binary. Okay? So my goal is, number one, these are the person recruits. So the first law of building says a recruit is not a recruit until they have a recruit. So in our back office, Traveris has some really, really great reports where you can pull your reports, and if you see like, what is it, a one? That means they haven't gotten a recruit. We don't like to see one. We talk about that all the time. We talk to our leaders about, hey, listen, let's get rid of those ones. A recruit is not a recruit until they have a recruit. So the first thing I'm looking to do is see who's going to break out of the gate so that we can help them get a recruit. Now we're looking to launch this. The second law of building says you want to drive the business 4 levels deep. Why? Because you're bound to find a star. You know, I never look at the person who I recruited as a star until they do something, but I know that stars are based off of the productivity that they can generate here as well, okay? So your goal is to get that organization 4 levels deep. Why? Because now that's multiple people that you can get travel parties and multiple people you can do a launch for, right? And so the first leadership rank, keep in mind, the first leadership rank is Sapphire. And the volume required is $15,000 of volume, okay? So what you want to focus on is, we teach this, out of these organizations right here, if you got 12, you want to focus on 3. If you got 16, you want to focus on 4. 16 recruits. If you got 12 recruits, you want to at least be able to take 3 of those legs, 1, 2, 3, and drive them 4 levels deep. Okay? If a person does that, you remember what the incentive say? The incentive that we had for the fly-in was to get how many personal recruits? 15. The reason why we did that is because we said, look, if you go out and get 15 recruits, then surely you can take 4 of those legs 3 levels deep. Okay? Or 4 of those legs 4 levels deep. Okay? If you take 4 of those legs 4 levels deep, even if your personal recruits didn't come in, say 15, if you focus on 15 here personals, and they get the first class, then you're automatically promoted to the Sapphire level. Correct?
Because you're getting 800.
Well, yeah. Well, no. See, what happens is your rank is promoted based off of the actual volume.
Oh, not the...
Your commission is paid off the BV.
Okay.
Okay? But your rank is paid off the actual volume. So therefore, if you went out and got 15 personal recruits who came in the first class, you qualify for Sapphire.
And that
So
has nothing to do with the binary.
that's correct. It has nothing to do with the binary. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to create a culture of creating Sapphires, and we wanted everybody who's flying in, once the company go live, they're automatically Sapphires pretty much. That's the idea behind that. They're already in a leadership position, okay? Now, the model is if you recruit 15 people, regardless of whether they come in a coach, business class, or first class, if you recruit 15 people and you teach your new recruits to get 15 people, and we want to identify 4 of those legs so we can drive 4 levels deep, if you follow this model alone, that means that that's enough production right here that that person will go Sapphire themselves. Okay? So, I mean, it doesn't even matter. Let's say, for instance, like, you know, this person came in at 1,000. This person came in at 500. This person came in at 1,000. And this person came in, let's say, 1,000. Okay? That's $3,500 of volume in that leg. And so you got it across multiple legs. 35, that's 7,000. That's another 7,000 over here. And all you're doing is you're just supporting them with launch calls and in-home presentations, and you're seeing where the production is. You're like, okay, this is my right side of my binary. This is my right side. This is my right side. This is my left side. Right? You want to pay attention to those type of things. Now, sure, some of these people who are incubating, you might get them to get a recruit, and then you can drive that production down. But this is how I've always managed my business. I don't really pay attention to the binary. The binary just pays a ridiculous check, but this is right here is where you create that stability so that you can continue qualifying. Okay? So if you were to teach your distributors, we're like, hey, listen, we want to go ahead and set you up a few launch calls because we want to get 15 recruits. Now you're identifying the leaders that you can drill down. All you're simply saying is we're creating a Sapphire factory. That is where the largest amount of checks will come from creating the leadership development bonus. Have you guys seen that slide? Shaniza, can you pull that up too? All right, I want to make sure that we pull up what's called the leadership development bonus, okay? That, when Holton Bugs was making $1.3 million a month, $900,000 a month was coming from the Sapphire factory.
It was something that he said that it was like 2% and 3% and all that. He said that's where his money was, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? All right, you guys good with this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're good with this. So here's, I'm just sharing with you guys some rule of thumb so that you can see the outer shell, and now all you got to do is really go and fill in the blanks in order to get to whatever levels you're looking to generate, okay? All right, so here's the way that I look at it. Remember, I talked about 20, 20. 20 people on the left, 20 people on the right, right? How many people are going to quit?
6.
How many people are going to work?
4.
6. Excuse me. And how many people are pretty much going to incubate? 6. Yep. Okay, watch this.
6 gonna quit, 6 will work, 2 will then come
Yeah.
superstars.
Yep. 6 people on each side are going to quit. Six people are going to incubate, and then you get 6 people to work, and maybe 1 to 2 of them will end up becoming a superstar. Okay. So now this is really your binary, but we're just looking at the structure right here. All of these right here. Ultimately, you want to identify 6 legs. If you could take 6 different organizations on each side right there to Sapphire, right? That right there will take you to Diamond.
Okay.
Okay?
So you say 6 legs, the 6 and the unilevel that you personally roll, if you can have each one of them get Sapphire in there, and you got 6 on each side of the binary, that would take you to what?
Diamond.
Oh.
Yeah. Diamond is $200,000 of volume. Here's how we're doing it, okay? You remember when I had it, the unilevel model, and I had all of those personal recruits, and you were driving down the production and so forth, and you knew which ones were left and right and so forth? I'm just trying to show you how that checks to stay very, very fast. So watch this. Each one of these organizations right here, this represents your personal recruits that are working. Really only 12 out of 40 people, right? 6 on each side, right? That's 15K. 15K, 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 15K. Okay. Giving you a visual so that you can do the math. Okay. 15K will put this person at what leadership level? Sapphire. And so now on this side, you went out and got 6 Sapphires. That right there is 60,000 plus 30,000. That's $90,000 of volume throughout those 6 legs. And you got $90,000 of volume on those 6 legs. That's $180,000 of volume. Surely between the rest of your organization, you're going to have somewhere around $20,000 of volume.
Right.
So 90 plus 90 is 180 plus 20. What does that put you at?
200,000.
200,000. That qualifies you for Diamond.
Oh, that's Diamond. Okay.
Diamond is 200,000.
Hold on.
Yes, sir.
It's 200. It's either it's 200,000 in volume or it's 1,000 people TSAs on your team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it 200,000 cumulative or left, right, left?
No. It's
Oh.
cumulative.
Total. Oh.
Yeah. And it has the 30% rule.
Now,
30% rule.
Yeah.
That means that if you got 3 organizations and all of them pretty much balanced, you know, like
30%,
650,
okay.
650, yeah. But you got 12 legs, so you ain't running into that problem at all.
No matter how much volume, you only get 30%.
You can only, well, no matter, okay, let me give you, okay, let's say for, what's 30% of 200,000? About 80,000, right? 60, yeah, 60. About 65,000. All right, let's say, for instance, this person right here has $105,000 of volume, right? Towards your 200,000, you can only count 65,000 from right here,
so you can't even count nothing else.
and then you can count all the rest of it. You count everything else, but you can only count like 65,000 from right here,
Okay.
out of this one.
For just
Yes.
just to make a slight correction,
Uh-huh.
up till Diamond it's 40%.
Right.
From it's 40%, no more than 40%.
Right.
And then from Blue Diamond on down is 30%.
Okay. So Diamond is 40%.
40%.
Okay. So cool.
So
well,
let me understand something.
Uh-huh.
I'm getting a little confused because I know we were talking about unilevel, we were talking about binary.
Yes.
So when you say you can only count 40%, that does not mean like 40% on the whole binary level.
No, it doesn't matter where they are on
It's
binary.
40% of the unilevel.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
But now what about the binary? What
Binary-
percentage can you count? Just
Look,
a weaker.
let me
just-
show you on the
just
binary.
add on a weaker level.
That's it. You got to have one active person on the left, one active person on the right. If you got spillover over here, and then all of your people, you got $200,000 of volume on this side,
You getting paid on
you
it.
still getting paid on it.
So the other thing though, let me just make sure, okay, so the leadership thing, the Sapphire
Mm-hmm.
and all that, that's where the leadership bonuses come in.
That's right, and I'm about to show you that one next.
Okay, all
I'm about to show you that one
Okay,
next.
so wait a minute, let me digest what I just.
Okay.
let's see. Okay, so what you just did was showed, if you had out of 20 people that you brought in
Uh-huh,
on your left and 20 that you brought in your right.
uh-huh.
And you suggested that you do that way, not.
That's
not
correct.
Because, okay, so 20 on the left, 20 on the right.
Mhm.
Is that a requirement or is
No,
that just, okay?
it's not a requirement.
Okay, so now that you've done that, you're saying that out of those, if 6 of all the people that you brought in of those
Uh-huh.
20 become sapphires,
Uh-huh.
then that qualifies you, that makes you diamond. But
Exactly.
there-
Six over here.
Plus you got 20
Yeah.
more thousand coming from somewhere else.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's not, that meaning you're getting a, what does that mean as far as rank? It means a higher percentage or something, or what is it?
Yeah, it's a high. It's really 20%. 20% is still higher than diamond. When you get in locked into that first class right now in the founding circles,
Right.
the 20% doesn't even kick in until you went black diamond, till you're doing
Okay,
$1
but
million.
What is the
But
significance
but-
then of being diamond then?
well, the significant. Well, that's what I'm about to show you. I'm about to show you in the other ways that we get paid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I'm just trying to.
Oh,
I'm
that's
just
you're
trying-
perfectly
I'm
fine.
trying to figure out some
Yeah,
things.
because this is going to be a
'Cause see,
structured
I won't
training.
go to sleep tonight.
Hey.
I really get this.
Look, yeah, and obviously I've I always study the compensation plans, because I do have a dual degree as well in math and computer science.
Oh,
yeah.
I remember that.
I taught calculus in college for 2
Where?
years. I called it Lincoln County Community College.
Okay.
I lived in Montana.
Okay.
Yeah.
I taught it at Spelman.
Oh, it's Spelman?
Taught all those classes.
Man.
Are you
Look,
gonna talk about the
I
uni level
graduated.
bonuses or just the leadership bonuses?
we're going to bring up the leadership bonuses and we're going to bring up the unilevel.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to go through both of those, okay? You got this drawn out?
I do.
You good with this? Okay. I can see I can go back and ask you questions about this, but I'm pretty sure you got it, like the 2020. So this is really representing the binary, and all we're doing is we're extracting the ones who are really populating the binary
So
through
at
their
this point,
production.
I don't know the significance of diamond. That's what you about to show me.
Okay, I will. Okay. All right. Now, what Holton Buck's motto is he simply says, if you're looking to go diamond, if you're willing to follow this 2020 system, and you recruit 40 people within your first 90 days personally, and he's saying you're bound to go diamond in 6 months. If you can do this in 6 months, here's what you're focusing on, okay? Maturing 6 organizations each to go diamond. The reason why you want it on left or right, because most people, you might not have spillover
Right.
in that regard.
And a lot of people try to depend on the spillover.
Exactly.
As opposed to trying to help the
There you go.
binary.
And that's the reason why
We teach everybody to do the same.
if everybody did left, right, and it populated that, and now that thing is flowing, guess what? By the time you get 10 people on the left side, and it's just exploding, guess what you can do with the next 30? Right. And then, of course, binary legs flip. So the reason why I always build left, right is because I'm maturing. I told you, I'm maturing my organization from the uni level. So I'm driving production down where this picture is in my head, like bam, bam, bam. This city right here, these cities and organizations, I'm driving that production. So I'm not even caring about the binary, but I can look in there at my binary. I'm like, man, that legs flip. Holton Bud's gonna tell you about his legs flipping and so forth.
So here's a question.
Uh-huh.
You said that if you got 10 in your binary and it hit a certain volume or something, then you might could just go ahead and put the next 30.
Yeah.
And why would you do that then if you're supposed to go 2020?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, say for instance, you're left, right, but you're driving the production. Maybe you recruited 20 people. Let's say, for instance, you recruited 20 people. The reason why you want to do it is because you don't know who's going to keep running and who's going to fade out or who's not going to get started. But by the time you got 20 people in there, if you're driving that production, you're like, wow, this organization is exploding. And there are leaders that already picked their heads up. You got to charge it with?
Yeah, you can charge it. So.
Right.
So you've already got leaders that have identified themselves that they're going to really, really run. to be a Sapphire and above, when you see the development, the leadership development bonuses, you're really going to appreciate that. Remember, look, Sapphire, the ranks, keep this in mind, the ranks are based on the sales volume.
Okay.
So therefore, the company says, even though Sapphire is in order, the volume that's required is 15,000,
Okay.
that means that you really need 150 people
Right.
in order to maintain this qualification.
Uh-huh.
But Holton says, listen, we're going to set it where as long as you have 100 people,
Oh. Okay.
you're going to automatically requalify for Sapphire.
Okay.
As long as,
something he's doing. Okay.
yeah,
that's nice.
exactly. Exactly, yeah. And then he says, at 200 people, you'll requalify for Ruby. 400 people, which is really, 400 people, which is really $40,000 of volume,
Right.
you can requalify for Emerald. And he said 1,000 people. If you got an organization of 1,000 people that's paying $100 a month,
Oh,
you're going to automatically qualify for Diamond. Even though that's $100,000 of volume requirement, he's going to qualify you for Diamond anyway.
and you
Okay,
get
so
paid
here's my
as.
question. Do you know whether or not the back office will reflect, normally how it will tell you how many more points you need to get to a certain rank? Like, since he's gonna allow it based on the number of people, will it also be something that says, okay, let's say if you got 89 people, will it say something like, if you get 11 more people in, you'll be Sapphire?
I don't know if they will have that type of reporting system right off the bat, but I can assure you Holton is very open to it. Chances are he started out.
Because of the
Between him and
motivated
T. Gray, they'll do it. And we don't want them to focus on the minimum, you know what I'm saying, per se. We want them to focus on the volume requirement, but I assure you that they're going to have a reporting system where they can see how many auto ships they have so that they can do that calculation
But that
also.
Sapphire volume, is it that's based on the, Unilevel?
That's,
The Sapphire volume, the
What?
15,000, that's coming out of the Unilevel?
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, it's coming
That's
out of
okay.
the Yeah,
I'm just
that's
trying
right.
to figure out because otherwise.
Everything, the unit level is the engine.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? That is your personal enrollment tree.
Right.
So your unit level is your personal enrollment tree. So every promo, every promotion, everything that dictates your income comes from the unit level. The binary just so happen to be this left and right side that is something that pays you a lot of money. Period. That's it. Yes, sir.
Have you ever seen a unilevel binary? Have you ever seen a compensation with this footprint?
With what? With this?
Yeah.
Unilevel binary.
Yeah.
And what company?
Organogo.
Oh,
Yes.
all right.
Yeah.
You got a lot of money over there.
Yes. We made a whole lot of money over there. And bro, we still haven't even started talking about the real money yet.
Well, why? Because Virginia won't be quiet.
Huh? We just haven't gotten there
You
yet.
haven't gotten here.
Right.
I just have to ask that.
I don't mind you asking. I'm just saying. Think about it. The binary, the left and right team. That's just an opportunity for first movers advantage.
Right, right.
That's it. And you can earn up to $1 million per month.
Yeah.
Through
So,
the binary.
so see whereas when I'm saying, although I'm asking questions, I think I'm getting it along the way. Get your 20 on each side.
Yep.
Get 6 of them, by default, 6 of them on each side should hit Sapphire. By
Uh-huh.
doing that, so you'd be Sapphire.
Uh-huh.
And if for some reason, and then as
You'll be
every,
down.
that's gonna, the volume, 15K, so every month, just 15K. What if that 15K was based on 15 people coming in? That's 1,000 points, you see what I'm saying? So the next month,
Okay.
they just gotta maintain
That's fine. You got you listen. That's not a big thing. If you got 15 lines of business, you brought 15 people in at the first class.
That's not a big
Those people want to go and make their money back,
Right, right.
right? So they're going to introduce some people, right? And so as we start building the next month, guess what? You might not introduce any. But guess what? You're helping the team. $1,000 here, $1,000 there, 500 here, 200 there. Next thing you know, you got 15 more. Now you grow to 20,000.
Right,
Right? But now, not only did you have the $20,000 worth of volume, you got 30 new people that just came aboard the team, and you already have 15. Now you got 40. So guess what? Just the monthly shipment alone will almost get you to Sapphire. Mm-hmm. Now you just keep driving those business, getting new business. Next thing you know, it will be every month you'll be qualifying on the first day of the month. You'll be qualifying for Sapphire. On the 15th, you're qualifying for Ruby. Okay? All right? All right, you good with this right here? Yeah, because we're only gonna be doing this in leadership trainings anyway. Like, that's why we don't even
That's fine.
We won't even get into it, but I'll go through it as many times as you
No,
want.
I'm fine.
Okay? All right, so we got this one. So now, all right, we went through the binary. The binary, like I said, the binary is just another bonus, a first mover's advantage bonus, a position of equity, where it pays out to up to $1 million a month. Okay? It has nothing to do with the calculation of how your organization is built and all of that stuff. Okay? So the back end play, if you want to strategically build by design versus by chance, follow this model, 20-20, right? Because that's going to assure that you got players on the left side of your binary and players on the right side of your binary, where the binary will generate those weekly checks, okay? And now you can take advantage of the back end play. Let's go to the leadership development bonus, okay? Let's go to the leadership development bonus right here. You got this in your notebook. Okay, because I'm going to need some calculation right here in a second. I'm going to give you another example to show you how this thing calculates as well. Okay? This is where the true money is.
Okay, I'm ready.
This is where the true money is, okay? That's you. These X's, all these X's mean is those are just people, but okay.
Unless it's already closed.
Okay. What these right here are doing, these are people who you personally recruited, organizations, let's say you personally recruited, and if I put like an X, the X's represents that the people that you recruited, they never hit the leadership position of Sapphire, Ruby, Emerald, and all of that stuff, right?
Okay.
And so this right here, this might be a Sapphire organization, right? This right here might be a Sapphire organization. This is a Sapphire. This is a Sapphire. This is a Sapphire. Right here, this actually is like, let's say this person is a Ruby, and then underneath that Ruby, they got a diamond, right? This right here might be a Sapphire, okay? And then this might be a Sapphire with a Sapphire under it. This one right here, this might be a Ruby, and they might have a Sapphire here and a Sapphire here, and then underneath there, they might have a diamond right here. And let's say this is a Sapphire with a Sapphire with a Sapphire with a Sapphire. Okay? All right? So we're just going to use the base amount of volume in this regards. Okay? Here's what happens. You got Sapphire. You got Ruby. That's 40,000 of volume. You got Emerald, which is 80,000. Oh, I didn't even put no Emerald team on here, did I?
Okay.
Let's put this one right here. This right here is an Emerald, and then they got a Sapphire leg right there. They got a Sapphire leg right there with the Sapphire right there. Okay, this will give us a model to show you how aggressive this portion of the comp plan is. Okay. So Shania, this would be a good time to bring up that chart. Okay? Here's what the company says. The company says,
This is your level?
yeah, the developmental bonus,
Oh, leadership.
leadership bonus, okay? Here's what the company says. Hold on, call it out for me. Call it out. It says Sapphire equals what?
2%?
Sapphire equals 2%. All right. Ruby?
3%?
3%. Okay, Emerald?
4?
Emerald equals 4%. And then Diamond?
5.
5%. Okay?
Bye. Bye.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So here's what that means. What that means is when you become a Sapphire, the company's gonna take, and you don't have any sapphires in your team, the company's gonna take all of your volume that you have, and they're gonna pay you an extra 2% leadership bonus just because you're a sapphire. Okay?
Okay.
Now the company says when you become a ruby, not only will we pay you on those sapphire organizations, but we'll pay you 2 generations deep of sapphires. What's a generation? This is a sapphire, and this position right here. Okay? So you're not only going to get paid on all of the production, if this is you, you're not only going to get paid on all the production here above this sapphire, right? 2%. But of course, you're going to get paid 2% all the way through the first generation of sapphire. And then when it goes to the next generation of sapphire above, the second person here, we're going to pay you 3% on this level. Right?
If you're what level? You still sapphire?
No, you got to go emerald to get paid 2 levels.
Oh, wait.
I mean, you got to get ruby to get paid 2 levels
Okay.
deep.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay? So that means that this emerald right here is your second generation, right? So this emerald, you can get paid on all of the production without it being another sapphire generation down here. Like these sapphire organizations, let's say for instance, he got legs of production over here, he got a lot of legs over here, but this right here is not a sapphire and so forth. You can only get paid on 2 levels as a ruby. So this is 1 generation of leadership. This is another generation. So from this person, all of his open line volume, all the way except when you get to another sapphire leadership bonus, you get paid on that production as well. Once you become an emerald, you get paid 3 generations of leadership. So not only do you get paid the 2% on this person, you get paid the 3% on this organization, and then you get paid 4% on these organizations. Do you hear what I'm saying here?
Because those are sapphires.
It doesn't matter. Watch this.
I'm just trying to
Look right here. Watch this. Look, right here in this example. This right here is a ruby.
Okay.
You get paid 2% here because you're
Because
emerald.
it-
You're emerald.
Oh,
You get paid 2% here. You get paid 3% on these sapphire organizations. And on that diamond position, even though you're at the emerald, you get paid 4% on the whole diamond group.
Because it's the generations. 1 generation.
You
2
get paid on
generations.
somebody that's higher than you.
Let me
Yes.
tell you something. It ain't ridiculous, it's ridiculous. It is sick.
I got right
It
there.
is ridiculous. It's sick. As a matter of fact, you go to the Urban Dictionary, you'll find the word ridiculous up in there as well, okay? All right, you see this though, right? That's the reason why, remember the model that I showed you, building out the unit level and driving it in depth? Finding those leads. This is the reason why you want to find
Okay,
those
so
leaders.
you said you didn't mind me asking,
Yes.
do me one more, could do that
Uh-huh.
level, start this sapphire, because I'm trying to understand, why would a person that you're at a higher level, that is at a higher level of you, well, I know you get the 2 generations, but can you just do that one leg, one more time, that leg, right? That
Okay,
second leg
all right,
there,
all right.
one more
And
time.
let me answer that question that you were about to ask. Okay? In most business models, I spent 8.5 years in a company, prepaid legal, where you go and rank up. I literally had over 30 qualifying people in my group that was at the executive level, spread across 10 legs. Okay?
Walk away.
All right, break exactly. When you hit here, when a person hits your rank on that executive level, you no longer get the executive check, you get a breakaway,
That's
a smaller portion.
That's right.
That's a horrible.
That's
it's
right.
like
That's
you
what I'm trying to catch right here.
So
That's what I'm trying to catch.
this is a new normal. The Houghton Bugs rewards the leadership. He says, look, when you help someone and rank up to leadership, I'm not going to take money out of your pocket. I'm going to give you more.
Makes sense.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
So do it again.
Okay, so watch this. Look, so when you're a sapphire, this has dynamic compression. So therefore, watch this. You are a sapphire, you're going to get paid 1 generation, and you're going to make 2%. That means if you're the only sapphire,
You paid on everything.
you can get paid on everything that you do,
Gotcha.
plus you can get paid on the sapphire, 1 generation of sapphires. Okay? You get paid on 1 generation of sapphires. Okay? When you become a ruby, you get paid 2 generations. So you get paid on all of your production for people who are not sapphires, right?
Right.
But because you're a sapphire, you're also going to get paid 2%. You're gonna get paid 2% on your first generation of sapphires, and then it's gonna look through and say, okay, is there a second generation? You got a sapphire here. We're gonna pay you 3% on this production outside of the emerald right here. So all of the production here, we're gonna pay you 3%. Say, for instance, if this person doesn't qualify, if that person doesn't qualify, and then it comes down here. They say, look, if they didn't qualify, it shrinks up. Now this is your second generation. So you're gonna get
paid 3% on your second generation.
That's correct. That's
so
correct.
You get 2% on your first generation.
Yeah.
And 3% on your second.
Yeah.
generation. Okay.
Yes. On it's 3% once you become a ruby.
Okay.
You become a ruby, you get 2 generations of pay.
So wait a minute. So 2%
On yeah, sapphire is 2%.
One generation.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but what he's saying right there is
What's
not
that?
reflected
Hold
here.
on. What's
Yes,
that?
it is.
What is
Yeah.
that?
It's just saying
Exactly.
2 generations, but it's they're explaining as they go
I
down.
know.
to-
That's
no,
what
it's not-
that's why I'm showing it to you.
I know, but it's
Yeah.
saying that
Yeah.
she's sharing that with me, but that to me does not reflect what you're saying.
Exactly.
So let me just say 2%
Uh-huh.
on first generation.
That's correct.
On first generation sapphire. And 3% on the second generation.
That is correct. But you can only get to that 3% once you become a ruby.
Okay, yeah, I'm writing it right
Okay.
now.
And then the company says, if you go emerald, now we're going to pay you 3 generations of leadership bonuses. Okay? So when they look down through your organization in terms of depth, they say, look, this person right here who's a ruby up top, you get 2% off of their production. These are the second generation. You're going to get paid 3%. But on this diamond, you might be an emerald, but on this diamonds organization, you're going to get paid 4%.
So my question, here's my question.
Yes.
Those 2, 3, 4, and 5%
Yep.
are based on whatever the rank of the person you're getting a percentage of.
No,
So no,
No,
see,
no,
wait,
no.
Based on your
No.
rank.
As long as they're it doesn't matter if they're sapphire, ruby, or emerald,
Right.
or diamond. It doesn't matter if their team is sapphire. No, you don't get those ranks. And this is based off of your pin level. Once you become a diamond, you get paid.
Let me repeat
Yes.
my question.
Okay.
And based on what I thought I heard you say, that leg right there where you hit the
Here?
diamond in there, the
Here?
one that hit, no,
This
this, okay. So I think we were executive at this point, right? That's where you were right now, the executive, right?
What do you mean?
Emerald.
Emerald.
I mean, okay, man.
Oh, emerald.
Yeah.
Emerald.
Okay, so
Yes.
you said that that person who was that ruby,
Uh-huh.
you got. I thought you said you get 3%.
2% right here. You get 2%. Why? Because that's the first generation of leaders. This is the first leader that you get. See, this X right here says that there's no sapphire or nothing right here.
Okay.
So the first person, this, let's say for instance, if this person right here that you recruited is a ruby.
Okay.
Okay? If that person is a ruby, if this person is a ruby, even if you are only a sapphire,
Right.
right now, because you got a ruby right here, you still get paid 2% on their production. What's going on, Doc? You get paid 2% on this person's production. You don't get paid on the next ruby because you're a sapphire. So how do you get paid? If this is a ruby, or if it's a sapphire, or it's an emerald, or diamond, like you don't get paid on this one right here until you hit what level?
Ruby.
Why is that?
Second generation.
It's second generation. What represents a generation?
15.
A leader or above, a sapphire above.
Oh.
That represents a generation. So this right here is based off of you developing leaders. So whether this person right here is a ruby, emerald, diamond, or whatever, that's still the first generation.
Okay.
This right here is the second generation.
Okay.
Okay? So even if this is a ruby right here, you, as a sapphire, you're going to get paid 2% on that production for this organization outside all of his production, outside of this second generation of leader, you get paid 2% on that production.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Once you become ruby, you get paid on the sapphire generation and the ruby generation. So
Okay, so go through that leg
Yeah.
as if you're ruby now.
as if you're ruby. That means the company's going to look over here. This right here doesn't matter because you're ruby on this. So you're ruby, so the company's going to pay you off of this production. Even if you have a ruby here, every bit of production outside of going to the next leader,
Right.
who might be a sapphire, ruby, emerald, then you're going to get paid on that production. And then you're going to get paid, that's the first generation. You get paid 2% off of that person's volume.
Oh,
When
yeah.
it goes down to the next person, that second generation is going to say, are you at least a Ruby? Yes, I am. We're going to pay you 3% on this person's group outside of their sapphires and so forth. And then it says, are you an emerald? Yes. Now we're going to pay you 4% on these guys' groups. And then the question is, are you a diamond? Yep. Now we're going to pay you 5% on all of this production. Okay? All right, but it gets even better than that because watch this. Let me show you another one.
Oh, Lord.
Here's another one. Watch this. Look, let's say, for instance,
Excuse me.
look, leadership development is amazing. Let's say, for instance, you go emerald. Once you become emerald, right? It'll do it at ruby as well. But once you become, yeah, it'll do it at ruby as well. Let's just imagine for a moment this is you, okay? And right here you got a sapphire, and 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 a sapphire. All those sapphires, right? This is the way that dynamic compression works, okay? You got all these organizations of 15,000, they're all sapphires, right? And let's just imagine you're an emerald.
Okay.
Ain't nobody here diamond or anything. The way that it compresses is you are emerald and you get paid 3 generations, right? But these are all sapphires and nobody else has hit any higher rank. The company's just going to take all of that production and pay you that production, that percentage on it. 4% on everything. As long as there's no diamonds or whatever in there, you get paid. That, like literally, when I became emerald, before I even went diamond in Organo Gold, I remember calling my sponsor and I was like, dude, I hate to say this, but I think the company made a mistake. I think the company made a mistake because I had a lot of sapphires in my group. Okay? I told Suma, I was like, bro, they had to make a mistake, man, because my check just jumped up $6,000 more on the same production. He was like, okay. He said, well, your ruby didn't qualify for ruby, it qualified for sapphire. Huh? I said, yeah.
But in
He was
this
like,
company,
he said it compresses
as
all
long
the
as
way
they
up.
got 100 people, they still gonna be sapphire.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's still great. Because that's how you make the money and that's how you're able to get those percentages. If you don't have any sapphire, then you're not really getting it.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, that's why it's called a leadership development.
Okay.
This is the largest piece right here. So that is the reason why we teach people how to build. That's the reason why we simply focus on get 2020. Drive these organizations. Do launch calls, do webinars, help these people mature their organizations. Because if you start calculating the volume right here, it starts getting crazy. Can you imagine being a diamond and getting paid 5% on this person who was a diamond? Their organization? You take 200,000 and multiply it times 5%. $10,000.
Wow.
That's a $10,000 check that you got because this diamond right here was a part of your organization.
It's unbelievable.
See? So here's what happens. Like if you mess around and recruit diamonds, and that's your first generation,
Oh my God.
oh yeah.
And you're a sapphire
No, well, if you're a sapphire, yeah, you're getting 2%.
of that diamond.
Yeah, of that diamond. That diamond in their open line production, but once it hits another sapphire right there, you're not getting it off of that because that's the second
That's
generation.
still 40,000.
There you go.
I take it.
This is
You're a
amazing.
sapphire, they're diamond. You making 40,000 money.
This is amazing, man.
Ridiculous.
This is what's so exciting about
It is.
developing people.
Okay, well, is that it? I mean, is that all? I mean,
That's
right
the
here?
big. All right, you wanted to know about how the flow of the boomerang
Yes.
as well, right?
Okay.
Okay, you want to know about the flow of the boomerang
I'm
pay.
sorry for holding y'all up.
No, sweetheart, you're fine.
Y'all need to leave.
You're fine. We're about to do a conference call. He's on the conference call taking notes right now.
Oh.
And then we're going to be sharing that conference call with you guys here at 11 o'clock.
Tomorrow's my
Did you
birthday, so
cover the
I'm not planning on doing that.
Hey, I love it. Happy birthday. Yes.
you covered the uni level, right?
Huh?
You covered the uni level. I probably walked away.
All of this is unit level.
Oh, bonuses? The uni level bonus?
That's what this is. I'm about to cover the unit level right now.
Oh,
All right. So here's what happens. Here are the ranks. You got TSA.
director,
Okay. You got director and senior director, right?
executive.
senior director. You got executive, and then you got sapphire.
Mm-hmm. Ruby, emerald, diamond.
Okay, here's what happens. If you're a TSA, the company says, when you go out and give away these boomerangs and so forth, 10% of the volume that comes from your recruits, like if you recruited somebody and they went and gave away boomerangs, 10%, you can earn 10% of, you remember the savings, $600 of savings, right? All right? Savings. 50% goes to the person who sold the boomerang, right?
Right.
And then 35% is paid out through the organization. And then 15% goes to the company. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so what happens is, well, give me some numbers right here, Shaniza. It's 10%, 10%, 10%. What else?
I'm sorry, what
And
did
then
35% go to?
8%. I'm about to cover right here.
Seven.
7%,
6 and 5.
6%,
35% goes into the library.
Oh, okay.
and then 5%, right?
Right.
Okay. How much is that? Then of course it goes to even
Well, it's 7. Well,
lower level.
level 1 at TSA.
Huh?
The levels, number of levels paid.
What?
So at TSA, 1 level is paid.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Right.
and then of course the other ranks and so forth. So out of this 35%, you see this 35% here?
Uh-huh.
The 50% is already taken care of because that goes to the person who gave the website away. This other 35%, basically out of this 35%, you take 100% or whatever. You know, that 35% is broken down into this.
What was that second level called?
Director,
Senior director.
director/senior director. Yeah, and the requirements for this is like $2,500 a BV. This is like 5,000 BV.
Then it's 15.
Give him money.
Yeah,
Just give them
yeah. He just giving away. He just he's celebrating small wins.
That's good.
Is
Yeah.
the 1,000, that's the business volume? What is, that is,
Yeah, the 1,000 first class, 1,000.
Is that business volume or 800 is the business volume?
No. The BV is a 800.
Okay,
But your rank is based off of sales volume.
okay, gotcha.
So that means that basically right here, this is 2,500. So if you got started at first class, and you recruited somebody at first class, and you recruited somebody at business class, you're at 2,500.
You can count your own volume?
That's right, towards your rank. That's correct.
Really?
Yeah, that's how he always does it.
I'm already, what am I?
Yeah, everybody started with 1,000
Lloyd
towards
got-
your rank.
Lloyd got a, did he tell you he got a first class?
I signed him up. I have processed his credit card.
What's his name?
Morgan.
Yeah, they were all on my
Morgan.
team.
Norville.
Right. So 2,500, 5,000, and then you get here. Now it's 15,000. It's 15,000. In order for you to get paid that 8% right here, that's huge. Okay. All right. So here's the amazing
8%
thing,
in
though.
the binary?
Huh?
This is Unilever.
No, Unilevel.
Oh.
Everything is Unilevel. But watch this though. Follow me here. Let's say, for instance, if you're Sapphire, right?
Okay.
If you're Sapphire, and you don't have any directors or senior directors and so forth,
Mm-hmm.
you really position yourself to get a whole lot of money from that thing over there.
The 35%?
Yeah.
Because you get all their volume too?
No, because like if they don't qualify to get the 10%, it just passed them by, and it compresses to you.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's like open
Yeah.
line, closed line.
So I'm saying if you have the TSA,
Let's say you got a TSA, but you ain't got no directors or executive, and you're a Sapphire. That means that you're gonna get this.
28%.
20%. Wow.
God, in the binary?
No, not in the
No.
binary,
No.
in the unit level.
Unit
So
Oh,
basically,
unit level.
you get 10% of this portion right here.
Oh. So that 50 to 35 does not go into the binary.
No, this right here gets paid out directly in a bonus.
But the 35 is into the
This goes into the unit level.
Okay, see, she said binary. I
Yeah,
already got binary.
it's going into the unit level right here.
Yeah, I already
That's
got
okay.
binary.
And then the 15%,
Goes to-
okay, goes to the company.
Unit level, okay.
Okay?
And the 15 goes to the company?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, think about it. I mean, you know, there might be people in the binary that you didn't recruit. And remember, I told you the binary is just a shell that pays out up to $1 million a month that you capitalize on from First Movers Advantage.
Okay.
That's how the binary payout. That's an extra $1 million a month you can earn.
Does the compression only apply to people that are Sapphire and above? Like,
No, what do you mean?
because you said if there are people.
Well, if you're an
that are not
executive, yeah, same thing.
Oh,
Ain't nothing. I mean, they glad, but you know, it's qualifying volume. That means that they still got to have $5,000 of
so in
volume a
other
month.
words, if you personally, I'm trying to understand, but the 50% is just based on the savings, so the 10% that you're getting paid is in the uniload, like, you know, in those different examples.
Yeah, watch this. Okay, let me give you a visual example right here. Let's say you go out and give Shaniza a free website,
Okay.
right? You go out and give her a free website, and she got $600 of savings. How much money did you make?
She got $600 saved, I
Yeah.
made 300,
You made $300.
right?
Okay, let's say for instance, if you are an executive, right? You're an executive, but you're the person that introduced it to her. Let's say for instance, you're a TSA in this example, okay?
Mhm.
And let's just imagine Spencer is a Sapphire, right? And
Right,
he's the person that brought you in.
okay.
Yeah, ain't nobody between y'all.
Mhm.
All you were focusing on is passing out those boomerangs. You're not trying to build a team or anything. And he's a Sapphire. Oh yeah, he's about to make 28% of the 35%. So you take 35% and break it down into 100%. 28% of that, 1/4 of it, little 1/4, he's gonna receive.
So let's say you, you made, okay, you made 300 and 35%, let's just say, what's that, $105, something like that?
Let's say 100.
Thirty.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
30.
All right, we'll use that. Let's just use it.
Okay, whatever.
That's
I'm
fine.
trying to understand, so as a TSA, you would get 10% in addition to the 50%.
No. The person who gives the site, you're gonna get 50%.
Okay,
That's
but
it.
if I happen to be a
Now the-
TSA,
Now the upline is getting paid. Okay.
oh, this is the upline people.
Yes, this is paying through the upline.
Okay, so I make $300 on my boomerang.
Yes.
But if somebody above me is an executive, they're gonna get 30%.
35.
30% of what I make, 30
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
300. So
There
they
you go.
make $90.
There you go.
If I'm a
If they got
Sapphire,
promoted.
if I'm
it
a
doesn't matter.
if I'm a Sapphire and somebody that I brought in sells a boomerang and that person makes 300.
Yeah.
So if I'm a Sapphire,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get 28% of that.
If they're just a TSA or what? I mean, if they're that's correct.
That's too much money to get. I don't know if we should do
That's
this.
another 67.
I don't know if we should do this. That's too much
Why
money.
would you have a problem
So
with
it
that?
makes a lot of
Ain't
sense.
that crazy?
Yeah, so we have to just get past all these boomerangs out.
Listen, that's
See,
the first
what I was telling Lou
that's the
not to
first
do all
order of
this.
business.